Imagine a dark room filled with shelves of unsolved cases that may not have been looked at in years. Now imagine taking those cases off the shelf and bringing them into the light. The goal of this channel is to shed some new light on those dark cold cases on a state-by-state basis. Thus, welcome to Dark Cold State. Today's true crime cold cases are from the state of Utah. Our first cold case is the murder of Amy Quinton. Amy was a 22-year-old University of Utah theater and drama student that lived in a ground-floor Salt Lake City apartment with a roommate. On the evening of August 3rd, 1999, Amy was studying in her room while her roommate visited with a friend that had stopped by. Shortly after midnight, a man entered their apartment and held the women at knife point. He demanded their wallets and said he was there for their money. During the home invasion and robbery, Amy was stabbed in the chest. Another of the young women was also stabbed, and the third was hit multiple times. Later, the man used one of the women's credit cards to purchase gas in the Parley's Canyon area, and later again in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. A suspect, Donald Eugene Young, was originally arrested for the crime, but the charges were later dropped against Young due to evidentiary issues. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Amy Quinton, please contact the Salt Lake City Police at 801-799-3000. Our next cold case is the case of Brian Sean Housley. On November 27, 2017, Brian was at 955 16th Street in Ogden, Utah. He was in the driveway of the home working on repairing a vehicle. While there, a car pulled up and gunshots were heard coming from the vehicle, and then the vehicle sped away. An emergency call was placed stating that a person had been shot, and Ogden police responded to the scene. Officers found Brian Housley lying on the ground with gunshot injuries. Police believe that Brian was an innocent bystander and that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. They suspect that he was incorrectly targeted and was not actually involved in any crime. Gunned down and left to die was not the final act for Brian. Brian was an organ donor, and in his heroic sacrifice, he saved the lives of 3 additional people. One of those people was a man who received Brian's heart. That man's wife recorded the heartbeat and placed it in a stuffed animal for Brian's mother. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Brian Sean Housley, please contact Ogden Police at 801-395-8221 or 801-629-8228. Our last true crime cold case for this week is Aaron Dowdle. The date was April 1st, 2005, April Fool's Day, a day that is normally filled with pranks and hoaxes, typically a day of laughter and jokes. However, Aaron Dowdle and his friend Andrew Weston left their homes, never knowing that the events of that day would later ultimately end in one of their deaths. The 2 boys were later found unconscious in separate locations a few blocks away from each other. Both boys had been beaten, and Aaron had also been stabbed. When police notified Aaron's family, they could not believe that it was him lying in a coma in a local hospital. Aaron fought valiantly after the beating, and he could not talk after he awoke from the coma, but his family thought he was slowly recovering. Unfortunately, a little more than a month after he was found, Aaron died. Aaron was 15 years old. He was a son and brother in a loving family who missed their family member and asked that anyone with information come forward, even if it is the smallest thing and you think that it could not possibly help. Please come forward. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Aaron Dowdle, please contact South Salt Lake Police at 801-412-3600. There are also many unidentified remains found in each state. If you have not already done so, please consider getting DNA testing completed where the DNA results are shared with law enforcement so that the possibility of identifying any unknown remains is increased. The goal of this channel is to provide attention to these cold cases. If you like the videos on this channel, please click the like button, share the video with others, comment below, and subscribe to the channel so that these videos are seen by as many people as possible. Appropriate update videos will be provided if needed. If you have a cold case or a missing person cold case that you would like to see featured on this channel, please suggest in the comments below or email me the information.